I really need to know if pop culture is actively, intentionally trying to ruin my central nervous system today.
Oh, it absolutely is. It's a targeted attack.
Right. I mean, I am letting out the most chaotic, exhausted sigh right now. Welcome back, babes. We love you, and babes, we are just so glad to have you here with us in this absolute mess today.
We really are. And we are back, hanging out for another early evening recording session. Because, once again, the blogs and the publicists waited until the middle of the afternoon to drop all the gossip.
Which I am taking as a profound personal offense. It is an emotional violation of my boundaries.
It's incredibly rude.
It really is. I have a very specific, carefully curated morning gossip routine. I wake up, I do my skincare, I make my iced coffee with the vanilla cold foam, and I sit down to read about ruined marriages.
Like a normal person.
Exactly. I require chaos with my morning coffee. That is my designated piece. So when they delay the drama until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I mean, they are emotionally exhausting me.
Well, I am no longer viewing this gossip scheduling as random. I'm treating it as a literal, coordinated conspiracy theory by celebrity crisis PR teams.
Wait, really? A conspiracy?
Think about it. Why are they specifically targeting us by dropping news at mid-afternoon? They know the general public is vulnerable at 3 p.m.
Oh my God, the blood sugar is dipping.
Exactly. The morning caffeine is completely worn off, we are weak, our defenses are down, and bam, they hit us with court documents.
It is psychological warfare.
It is. They're hoping we are too tired to actually analyze the statements.
Well, they severely underestimated us. Because listen to the Snark squad. The massive iced coffees are physically on the table right now.
Condensation is pooling everywhere.
And babes, we are fully hydrated and we are ready to spiral.
We truly are. But we also need everyone to understand the physical and emotional toll it took to get here to the studio today to spill this.
The trauma was real.
Because we both just finished work at our respective dental offices. We literally clocked out, ripped off our scrubs, and immediately drove here like absolute criminals fleeing a heist.
And I was completely panicking in traffic. I was like gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles were white. Rush hour traffic is a very specific modern circle of hell.
It really tests your sanity.
I was sitting there trapped behind this beige minivan going way under the speed limit, literally hyperventilating because the entire reality television universe was actively on fire.
And you had zero momentum.
Zero.
Yeah.
I was stuck at a red light on a 4-lane road. I'm sweating, just reliving it.
See, I take a fundamentally different approach to vehicular containment. I project a perfectly calm, impenetrable exterior.
Oh, sure you do.
No, really, if you looked at me in the car next to you, you would think, oh, look at that serene professional listening to NPR. But internally, I am fully dynamically road raging.
I love that for you.
I am screaming at the structural flaws of urban planning. I was speeding with a massive iced coffee in one hand, merging without a blinker, just feeling like a chaotic little business owner on a highly classified mission.
We are chaotic little business owners. And speaking of our chaotic choices, I have a massive update for the Snark squad. Vegetarian week is still happening. We have not caved.
Barely. But yes, technically speaking, the streak remains alive.
I am so deeply proud of us. I had the most spiritually aligning lunch today. I had this incredibly fancy, wildly overpriced green smoothie.
The one that looked like swamp water.
It tasted a little bit like a lawnmower blade, honestly, but in a rich, aspirational way. And I had a massive loaded salad. I feel cellularly different. I feel like my blood type has changed.
Meanwhile, I had an impossible burger, which let's just critically evaluate what that is.
It's fast food.
It is fast food wearing a trench coat to sneak into a wellness retreat. I am still deeply emotionally attached to the drive-thru window.
You are struggling.
I'm sitting here right now under these studio lights, thinking intensely about the structural integrity of a mozzarella stick.
Oh my God, I am begging you, do not bring up mozzarella sticks. I am having visceral withdrawals. I miss the cheese pull.
The marinara sauce contrast.
Stop. I am mentally pretending that this one single healthy week is completely altering my DNA. I am manifesting my summer body immediately.
Well, you might actually need that athletic prowess. Because we actually had to record earlier than usual tonight for a deeply alarming reason.
Yes, we did.
Babes, we have Pilates and recreational basketball later this evening.
Yes. Yes, Biggs. Recreational basketball. We are fully entering our fitness girl era.
Lord help us.
The weather is finally nice, and I am romanticizing the absolute hell out of summer activities. I want to be one of those inherently active people who just casually tosses a ball around.
Without sweating through their shirt.
Exactly. I'm buying the matching pastel athletic sets. I'm getting the absurdly expensive water bottles.
I, on the other hand, am experiencing deep existential concern that participating in recreational basketball may physically end my life tonight.
You're going to be fine.
Let's look at the data. I have zero hand-eye coordination. I have notoriously weak ankles.
Okay, the ankles are a problem.
The very concept of running back and forth on hardwood flooring while hyper-competitive people shout about zone defense, it sounds like an ancient torture method.
It's going to be an incredible journey. Over the next few months, we are trying tons of new hobbies. So, babes, stay tuned.
If I survive.
But honestly, I need to take a massive gulp of this iced coffee right now to transition from my wholesome, healthy girl era to the absolute unhinged toxicity of our first gossip recap.
Please, let's get into the mess.
Because we need to talk about the absolute financial and romantic wreckage of Brittany Cartwright and Jax Taylor.
Which is truly the most toxic piece of real estate in California right now.
Okay, I have been desperately waiting to unpack this all day. The facts are staggering, and the math is simply not mathing.
Not even a little bit.
So, Brittany did this big, emotional sit-down interview with Entertainment Tonight. She is playing the wounded single mother, right? And she casually drops the detail that she is currently paying Jax's taxes on a monthly basis.
While they figure out who gets to keep the massive house.
Yes. She says she wants to keep their son, Cruz, in a stable environment. But then, less than a few hours later, Jax's lawyer, a man named Mark Vincent Kaplan, issued a formal public statement completely denying her claim.
And we need to look at the exact wording of that legal statement, because it is an aggressive piece of PR maneuvering.
It was so aggressive.
The lawyer said she is only paying the house payments because she's the only one currently living in the house. And he definitively stated she is absolutely not paying his tax liability.
I was spiraling when I read that. The lawyer literally said, I don't know what universe she is in, but that house is a community house. He is throwing direct legal shade.
It's a very calculated move.
But wait, I actually have to push back on the idea that this was calculated. Jax Taylor is basically the final boss of toxic, impulsive men.
This is true.
I think he just got mad, picked up his phone, and screamed at his lawyer to fix it. Why would a publicist advise him to loudly draw attention to his massive tax debts?
Because you have to understand Jax's specific pathology. Engaging a high-powered attorney like Mark Vincent Kaplan, who famously represented Kevin Federline, by the way, requires strategy.
Oh, wow. Kevin Federline's lawyer. That is bleak.
Right. And Jax doesn't care if the public knows he's broke. The public already knows he owes the IRS money. What Jax cares about is control over the narrative.
He just wants to prove she's lying.
Exactly. He is willing to issue formal legal statements to ensure everyone knows he is drowning in debt by himself just to prove his ex-wife is a liar. It's a scorched earth tactic.
That is so dark. It is a race to the bottom. And as if this dueling financial narrative wasn't chaotic enough, we also have to talk about Brittany addressing the internet backlash she got this week.
Oh, the restaurant incident.
Yes. For the Snark Squad members who missed it, Brittany took her 5-year-old son to a Hooters restaurant. People in her comments were losing their minds,
Calling it completely inappropriate.
and her defense in this ET interview was, and I quote, "Hello, I'm in the Hooters Hall of Fame."
We need to freeze right here.
I am hyper-fixated on it.
We need to scientifically unpack every single syllable of that sentence, because she used her induction into the Hooters Hall of Fame as a legitimate legal and moral defense for taking a toddler to a restaurant.
I actually respect the delivery. She said it with her whole chest. But seriously, what even is the Hooters Hall of Fame?
I genuinely need to know the physical mechanics of this. Is there a concrete building located off a highway in Clearwater, Florida?
With like a bronze statue of some hot wings.
Exactly. Is her bedazzled, microscopic orange uniform framed behind bulletproof glass? The earnestness with which she delivered that line deserves an Emmy.
It was so deeply earnest. She truly believes her status as a legendary former employee grants her full diplomatic immunity from modern parenting criticism.
She thinks she's royalty walking into her kingdom.
Exactly. But she didn't just talk about Hooters and taxes. She also dropped that she has a new crush. Well, she said she's been single for over 2 years, mentally at least. And she finally admitted that her recent fling with Brendan Hansen was a massive red flag.
The guy she went on dates with right after leaving Jax.
Yes. She said she got the ick because of how eager he was to film the reality show with her.
This is where the reality TV PR playbook turns into a psychological trap. It is the inescapable cycle of the reality television romance.
It really is.
You gather the courage to leave a narcissist, you step out into the real world, and you accidentally rebound with an amateur who views you as an audition tape for his own 15 minutes of fame.
That is so depressing.
When your life is monetized on a show, you can never truly know if someone likes you for your personality or for your call sheet placement.
I just want peace for her, I really do. But I also know she is medically attracted to chaos.
Drawn to the flame.
Always. But if we want to talk about someone who actually knows how to protect their peace, someone who recognizes this toxic playbook and refuses to play, we have to pivot to Beverly Hills.
Yes, we do.
Because Garcelle Beauvais has officially, permanently exited the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
This is a devastating loss for the audience, but a masterclass in professional boundary setting.
I am physically mourning the loss of this queen on our screens. She brought actual glamour and intelligence to a show entirely lacking in it.
Let's look at the facts of how she executed this exit, because it breaks every rule.
She didn't do the standard reality TV quit. She didn't dramatically storm off the reunion stage in a ball gown screaming at Andy Cohen.
Nope.
The reports say she actually waited until after the season wrapped, requested a private one-on-one meeting with Andy, and calmly told him her run had come to an end.
The absolute power move of that cannot be overstated. The standard PR move is to leverage your exit for maximum screen time.
You make sure the cameras catch you crying in the Sprinter van?
Exactly. By skipping the messy reunion exit and sitting down directly with the network boss, she stripped the network of the ability to monetize her departure. She took the power back.
It is brilliant, and her reasoning was so profoundly sad but empowering. She said she looked around the reunion stage and realized she literally didn't have any real friends left on the show.
The environment was completely hollow.
And she explicitly said, once again, I had to choose me, and this part gave me full-body chills. She compared staying on the show to staying with her ex-husband, Mike Nyland,
Who famously had a 5-year affair behind her back.
Right. She said she refused to stay in this toxic environment and become the anxious wife, constantly worrying and letting it change her core spirit.
That is a staggering psychological comparison. Let's analyze how toxic that internal ecosystem has actually become.
It's radioactive.
You have a woman universally beloved by the audience winning the PR war, but the day-to-day reality of filming is so fundamentally poisoned that she has to tap out just to save her sanity.
And she's refusing to do the spin-offs too. They offered her ultimate girls trip and she said, absolutely not.
She walked away from an enormous guaranteed paycheck because the emotional toll wasn't worth it.
I am spiraling over how much strength that takes. To look at millions of dollars and say, my nervous system is worth more than this.
It proves that the camera is a catalyst for chaos. But losing Garcelle leaves us with the unmitigated mess of the remaining Beverly Hills women.
Which perfectly segues into the Camille Grammer and Dorit Kemsley evolution, because if Garcelle is the example of leaving the toxic environment, Dorit is the example of being consumed by it.
The Beverly Hills history books get really, really dark here.
The facts are, Camille Grammer OG Beverly Hills royalty went on Cynthia Bailey and Crystal Kung Minkoff's new podcast, and she fully unleashed on Dorit.
Naturally.
She literally called Dorit a monster. She said Dorit was sweet in season 7, but completely bought into her own hype, got addicted to the glam, and transformed into a monster.
Okay, I have to snarkily evaluate Camille throwing the word monster around. That is incredibly rich, coming from a woman whose early seasons were defined by hiring psychics to tell other women their marriages were failing.
Oh my God, the dinner party from hell.
Exactly. But what was Crystal's reaction to this?
This was the best part. Crystal actually pushed back. Crystal, who just got fired, defended Dorit. She said the word monster is way too extreme and that Dorit is just imploding her life right now.
I want to focus on that phrase, imploding her life. Crystal is using that as a defense.
It's wild.
That is the most Beverly Hills PR spin I have ever heard.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, she's not an evil monster. She's just systematically destroying every facet of her own existence in real time. Give her some grace.
Right. But I actually have to disagree with Crystal here, and I'm going to push back on you too. I actually agree with Camille.
Really? You're on Team Camille.
I think Dorit is acting like a monster. Have we forgotten how she treated Garcelle? Microaggressions, going through a divorce doesn't give you a free pass to treat everyone like garbage.
That is a fair point, But I think we have to separate malicious intent from sheer survival panic.
You think she's just panicking?
I don't think Dorrit wakes up trying to be a monster. She's drowning. She has no money. Her husband is living in a hotel. And she is desperately trying to maintain the illusion of extreme wealth while the repo man is towing her Bentley.
Okay, that is a deeply empathetic read, which I guess I can accept. Panic makes people do crazy things.
The root is fear, not malice.
But the darkest part of this entire podcast interview wasn't even about Dorrit. Camille completely pivoted and brought up her ex-husband, Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, this was rough.
She revealed that during their brutal split 14 years ago, he sent her a text message that simply said, "I feel no remorse for what I am doing."
I am physically chilled by that. That is terrifying.
I am horrified. That is a true, undeniable villain move, sociopathic behavior.
Kelsey Grammer effectively went full Fraser Crane dark mode.
Right. Imagine receiving that text from the father of your children while he is openly moving his new flight attendant girlfriend into a luxury apartment. It makes my blood run cold.
It shows how the strategy of public divorces has evolved. Kelsey's strategy was cold, blunt force trauma. Dorrit and PK's strategy today is vague statements while leaking negative stories to page 6.
It's all just so dark. But you know who isn't drowning in the dark? You know who just successfully executed the most miraculous legal escape in Bravo history?
Ah, yes. The Teflon Dawn of Star Island. Lisa Hochstein.
Babes, the facts of this case are absolutely wild. Lisa and her boyfriend Jody Glidden were facing legitimate felony eavesdropping charges.
Because they allegedly bugged her ex-husband's car?
Yes, she was looking at up to 5 years in federal prison, but the news just broke today that they reached a massive legal agreement.
They accepted a pretrial diversion program.
Exactly, which means if they behave themselves and pay some fines, all felony charges will be fully dismissed in June without any admission of guilt.
We need to explain the mechanics of this because it is the ultimate rich girl real estate win. Pretrial diversion is designed to keep first-time, non-violent offenders out of jail.
Right, like for petty theft.
Yes. Using it to dodge a premeditated felony wiretapping charge where you ran a covert espionage ring out of a luxury SUV. That requires incredibly expensive lawyers.
She bought her way out.
She effectively bought her way out of half a decade in a penitentiary. She is walking away with a completely clean record. You almost have to respect the audacity.
I am just so incredibly relieved because I cannot mentally picture Lisa Hochstein in a prison jumpsuit. It does not compute.
She wouldn't survive the fluorescent lighting.
She requires couture. She requires 3-hour glam sessions. I am just glad she gets to stay in her massive Miami rental and keep fighting Lenny in civil court.
You are relieved, but let's pause and think about the actual action she was accused of. She planted a bug in a car? That is deeply invasive and highly illegal.
Well, sure, the ethics are questionable.
But because she brings high ratings, the public is cheering for her evasion of justice. The camera has completely warped our moral compass.
Okay, yes, I will admit that, but she looks great doing it. Anyway, while the housewives are actively battling in federal courtrooms, our next block of gossip takes us to the East Coast,
Where the cast of Summer House is desperately battling their own terrible life choices.
This is a perfect transition. Oh my God, the Summer House finale. I took a massive gulp of my iced coffee for this because my heart is actively aching.
If the housewives use lawyers for PR crises, the millennials in the Hamptons use Meta's social media platforms. And it is much more embarrassing.
We need to talk about Amanda Batula, Ciara Miller, and the absolute betrayal of it all.
The tension has been building all season. The audience has watched Kyle Cook completely disrespect Amanda for months.
And in the finale, we finally saw Ciara give Amanda the tough love she has desperately needed. It was profound reality television.
Ciara looked Amanda dead in the eye and said, "You have to stop letting life happen to you."
She told her that she and Paige would literally pack Amanda's bags and schedule her escape route if she wanted to leave, but they were not going to just watch her cry about this man anymore.
It was a powerful moment.
I got so deeply emotional watching this because being the Ciara in the dynamic is so incredibly soul-crushingly exhausting.
Let's break down the psychology of that friendship dynamic because it is the defining struggle of female friendship in your 30s.
It takes all your energy.
You pour your entire soul into showing a friend their worth. You validate their pain, and then they just turn around and go right back to the guy with the mullet who screams at them about staying up past 1 a.m.
Yes, you start losing sleep over a relationship you aren't even in.
Exactly. But the plot thickens drastically here, because the PR fallout from this highly emotional finale is currently unfolding on the most chaotic platform possible. Threads.
Kyle Cook, a man in his 40s, a CEO.
Yes, a grown man who manages employees logged onto Threads and posted a completely cryptic message that just said WTF with an angry red-faced emoji immediately after the reunion filmed.
I am losing my mind over this. Why is a grown man vague posting like an angsty teenager in 2006 on a MySpace bulletin board?
It's so embarrassing.
Put your smartphone down and go to therapy. And the leading fan theory is that he is furious because Amanda took a friendly cast photo standing next to Wes Wilson at a promo event.
Let's snarkily decode the PR strategy of a vague post. Kyle's entire brand is built on being the fun, goofy party guy.
Right.
But the moment his wife establishes a micro-ounce of independence or shows camaraderie with a younger, currently more popular male cast member, Kyle short-circuits.
He posts WTF because he wants the attention.
He wants the fans to rush to the comments and ask, on Kyle, what's wrong? He wants the validation of victimhood, but he is too cowardly to actually state what he is mad about.
Because he knows he'll look insane if he says he's mad about a photo.
It is classic manipulative behavior wrapped in a neon Loverboy sweatshirt.
It is so transparent. It is a plea for sympathy disguised as outrage. But while Kyle is throwing digital tantrums, his ex-best friend Danielle Oliveira is making major adult life moves.
She is officially pregnant.
Babes, we have to talk about Danielle. She announced she is expecting a baby with her new boyfriend, Eoin Heavy.
And the career details surrounding this man are so perfectly, quintessentially Bravo that it physically hurts me.
It was revealed that Eoin runs a hotel tech startup, which perfectly aligns with Danielle's own background of allegedly launching a personal styling app that we never really saw.
They are just two tech founders deeply in love.
I love it for them.
I need to sarcastically break down the Bravo tech startup economy because it is a highly suspicious genre of employment. What exactly is a hotel tech startup?
I mean, who knows?
Is he revolutionizing how we order $40 room service sandwiches? Is he the guy who programs those digital room keys that never actually work?
The ones that force you to go back down to the lobby in your swimsuit.
Exactly. The Bravo Tech Bro always has a job title that sounds incredibly lucrative on a chyron, but is completely impossible to explain in plain English.
I don't care if he invented a digital towel dispenser. I just want her to be happy. She escaped the Hamptons drama and found a man who speaks fluent Silicon Valley jargon. It is a win.
It is a win. But speaking of men who are actively losing the PR war, we have to pivot back to the Valley for a second.
Oh, yes. Dark side Danny Bucco.
Danny just pulled the most suspicious, cowardly PR move of the entire week.
The descent into villainy continues at a rapid pace. What are the facts? Snark Squad.
Danny was scheduled to appear on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. It was his big moment. But after the massive fan backlash from this week's episode, where he was caught on camera drunkenly disrespecting his wife, Nia.
Demanding she get him an Uber.
Right. He suddenly, miraculously dropped out of the live broadcast.
Yeah.
And who had to step in and replace him at the literal last minute? Tom Schwartz.
Yes. And Nia's sweet, patient Nia went on Instagram and tried to defend him by claiming Danny just got a great work opportunity on a huge new movie.
Let me stop you right there. Babes, we know a PR crisis pull out when we see one. I am fully snarking on this huge new movie excuse.
You don't believe it.
Look at the mechanics of Bravo contracts. You do not swap a booked, highly publicized gig with Andy Cohen for a last-minute indie film unless your Instagram comments are uncontrollably in flames.
Exactly. But wait, part of me wonders, what if he actually did book a movie? He is an actor. He was in iCarly. Maybe it's real.
I am rejecting that theory entirely. You do not cancel on Andy Cohen 24 hours before airtime because of a sudden casting call.
Yeah.
This is Crisis Management 101 performed incredibly poorly.
So they sent in Schwartz.
When the audience turns against you, you don't face the fire. You send in Tom Schwartz. Because Tom Schwartz is Bravo's designated human shield.
He is a deployable asset.
They just wind him up, push him out onto the stage. He runs his hands nervously through his hair, mumbles something self-deprecating, and distracts everyone.
While Danny is hiding in a windowless bunker in the valley waiting for the internet to forget how he treated his postpartum wife.
Okay, when you lay it out like that, it is completely undeniable.
It's the PR playbook. Deny, deflect, and deploy Schwartz. It is cowardice. Instead of going on the live show to take accountability and apologize to your wife publicly, you hide behind a fake movie role. It is weak.
But listen, if there is one specific group of people who truly understand what it means to live in the comment section flames, It is the women of Mom Talk.
Oh my God, yes. We are entering our final block of gossip, babes, and we are wading into the deep, dark waters of the secret lives of Mormon wives. The spirals are actively spiraling in Utah.
Let's start with Kayla Frankie Paul, because her life is a masterclass in extreme compartmentalization.
The facts here are overwhelmingly dense. Amidst the absolute wreckage of her life, the canceled Bachelorette season, the custody drama with Dakota where she only has supervised visits because of the domestic violence investigation.
It's a lot.
Taylor just bought a massive house completely solo. She posted the requisite influencer video with the confetti cannons, but her caption was fascinating. She explicitly wrote, "I see the sadness through the excitement, but I am trying."
It's a very heavy statement.
I am fully spiraling with genuine empathy for her right now. Do you know how incredibly hard it is to secure a home, qualify for a mortgage, and handle closing documents amidst ongoing legal chaos?
While dealing with a court-appointed monitor.
Yes. She is dealing with restraining orders, lost brand deals, and yet she managed to pull it together enough to buy a house to give her kids a stable roof over their heads. I am proud of her.
It is a massive step forward for her stability. But while Taylor is signing escrow documents, the rest of the Mom Talk ecosystem is actively splintering.
Because influencer warfare never sleeps. We have a major, highly strategic unfollowing incident. Michaela officially unfollowed Jessie on all platforms.
And the reasoning behind it is incredibly heavy.
Jessie claims she is just trying to stay neutral between Taylor and Michaela. But Michaela publicly stated that she refuses to enable someone who is weaponizing her past childhood abuse.
We need to break down the sociology of the Mom Talk splintering. The second the Hulu reality show cameras turn off, the real alliances are tested.
Jessie's trying to play the Swiss neutrality card.
The "I just want to love both people" strategy, which is a classic reality TV survival tactic designed to keep you invited to all the filming events next season.
It's the Shiana Shea playbook.
Exactly. But Michaela is rejecting that playbook. Michaela is drawing a non-negotiable boundary based on deep personal trauma. She is saying that neutrality in the face of abuse is complicity.
It elevates it from petty internet drama to real, devastating life stakes. The PR playbook doesn't work when actual trauma is involved.
It really doesn't. But if we do want to talk about pure, unfiltered petty drama, we need to pivot to the absolute masters of the craft.
Oh, the ultimate petty flexes. We have two stories that deserve to be studied in a university sociology department. First up, RuPaul and Courtney Act.
This specific story is a masterclass in sociopathic brilliance.
Over 10 years ago, Courtney Act publicly called out Drag Race for using a transphobic slur. In response, RuPaul blocked Courtney everywhere.
Just completely erased her.
Fast forward a decade, RuPaul unblocks her. But instead of just sending a DM to clear the air, RuPaul executed the most insane power move. RuPaul called their mutual friend Todrick Hall, spoke to him for an hour, and instructed Todrick to physically deliver a message to Courtney.
And the message was simply, "I just don't like you."
I am bowing down to the sheer, unadulterated dark energy of this.
Think about the physical logistics and the time commitment required for this level of pettiness. RuPaul didn't text her. RuPaul dispatched a human emissary.
Like a royal herald delivering a declaration of war.
He made a mutual friend sit down in a room, look Courtney in the eye, and verbally delivered the decree of dislike. It is so wildly theatrical, you have to respect the commitment the bit.
It is incredible. And matching that exact energy over in Atlanta is Portia Williams. Kelly Farrell, a newbie, tried to secure her spot by dragging up 4-year-old T, accusing Portia of sleeping with married men.
A classic, desperate newbie move.
And Portia went on a talk show and just utterly dismissed her existence. She asked the audience, who even handed her the peach? And then she dropped the hardest line of the year. She came in hot and I just cooled her down.
The dismissal is lethal. It is surgical. When a veteran housewife looks at a newbie and essentially says, "You are a temporary temperature fluctuation in my atmosphere that I have already neutralized," it is over.
The PR battle is won.
Both RuPaul and Portia understand a fundamental rule. The ultimate insult isn't getting into a Twitter war. It's treating their entire existence as a minor administrative error that you have already filed in the trash.
The immense power of complete unbothered detachment. But someone who is never detached and constantly screaming into her front-facing camera is Bethany Frankel.
Who is currently entering what Teddy Mellencamp accurately called her douche lord era. I need to pause and recognize the absurdity that I'm about to actively agree with Teddy Mellencamp.
The facts here are genuinely infuriating if you care about small businesses. Lexi Ioanu launched a small shoe brand called New. She generously gifted a very expensive pair to Bethany.
A very nice gesture.
Bethany wears them, loves them, and posts a video to millions of followers. But instead of tagging Lexi's brand, Bethany actively links to cheap plastic Amazon dupes using her own personal affiliate links.
So she gets the shoes for free and then financially profits off sending her followers to buy knockoffs.
Yes, and Teddy called her a douche lord for it.
We need to fully snark on Bethany's influencer grift economy here. Bethany built a massive brand on supporting women in business, but the absolute second there is an opportunity to make a $1 commission on an Amazon affiliate link. All those feminist principles evaporate.
It is so incredibly tacky.
Teddy actually made a perfectly valid point. If someone gives you a gift from their small business, the lowest bar of human decency is to tag their Instagram handle.
I am so heated on behalf of small business owners right now. It takes 2 seconds to say, hey, these are sold out, but here's the brand. You don't actively direct your audience to a competitor so you can make a few cents.
It is the definition of a douche lord move.
Teddy is 100% right. But babes, we are going to end our massive gossip recap today on a note that requires us to drop the snark for just a minute because we need to talk about Snooki.
Yes. Snooki opened up publicly about being diagnosed with stage 1 cervical adenocarcinoma.
I got so deeply emotional reading this. She revealed she had 4 years of abnormal pap smears. She was so vulnerable. She admitted that when the doctor told her, she had a complete panic attack and started dramatically planning her own funeral in her head.
Before she actually sat down, did the research, and realized that stage 1 is highly treatable. She's getting a hysterectomy this summer.
Right as Jersey Shore enters its final season. Look, we spend so much time analyzing manipulative PR strategies, but I want to sincerely praise Snooki here. She is using her massive MTV platform to talk openly about abnormal pap smears and cervical cancer. That is real, tangible impact.
Her vulnerability in sharing that initial panic is so relatable.
I would do the exact same thing. The second a medical professional says a scary word, I am mentally picking out floral arrangements for my casket. It is paralyzing.
But her sharing the relief that it is treatable if caught early is going to help so many women who are currently putting off their appointments. It will save lives.
It really will. So, Snark Squad, let this be your official mandated reminder. Go get your health checked. Call your doctor tomorrow. Do not ignore the abnormal results because you are scared.
Please advocate for your health. We need you healthy to keep analyzing this chaos for decades to come.
Yes. And as we finally wrap up this chaotic afternoon session, I want to pose that final provocative thought to the Snark Squad, something to deeply mull over while you sit in traffic tomorrow.
We started by asking if the Bravo camera crew is the Grim Reaper of romance.
We did. So if the camera is the Grim Reaper of romance and starring on a reality show mathematically destroys your relationship, what happens to the kids being raised on these shows?
Oh, that is a dark question.
Are they immune because they grew up in the chaos, or are they doomed to repeat the exact same toxic PO playbook their parents used? Are we just breeding a new generation of reality TV villains?
The generational trauma of the reality TV camera, it's terrifying to think about.
Babes, we desperately want to know what you think about this. Thank you so much for hanging out with us through this afternoon chaos. You know we love you.
We truly do. Now head down to the comments and answer our deeply important questions. First, could you actually survive a vegetarian week, or are you currently hallucinating the smell of a cheeseburger?
Drop your absolute favorite iced coffee order down there too, because we need serious caffeine inspiration for tomorrow. Also, what is a hobby you want to try this summer?
And finally, validate my existential fears. Does recreational basketball sound like a fun summer activity, or does it sound highly dangerous to your skeletal structure?
Let us know, babes. And do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please keep sending in your shady, snarky, or completely stupid pop culture submissions to our inbox.
We read every single one, and they actively fuel our iced coffee-driven existence. Until next time,
Stay chaotic.
stay hydrated.
And we will see you on the snark side.